Welcome. You are listening to the Louie Minor Show. I'm your host, Commissioner Louie Minor. Today is December 16th, 2023. We are back and we have a lot to cover, so let's get started. Let's get going. I have a lot to talk about since the last show, which was October 15th. So it's been a while. I've been busy. I'm a one-person show. I'm a one-person commissioner, so I've been pulled in all kind of directions, and sometimes I'm not able to get this out in a timely manner. So I apologize. I definitely want to keep you informed. I know you come back and you want to listen. I hear folks that tell me they've listened to the podcast. So, I definitely need to make this more of a priority. But let's get going. Let's talk about what's been going on in your county government since our last show. What's going on locally and in politics, and let's start off like we always do. The agenda for the next meeting of the Bell County Commissioners Court, which will be December 18th. 2023 at 9 a.m. First thing on the agenda is the invocation. Then we have Pledge of Allegiance. Consent agenda items. Consider the approval of the December 11th, 2023 Commissioners Court meeting. Then we have personnel budget amendments, claims, account payable, payroll, restitution, and jury pay. D, consider and authorize the county judge to execute amendment number 2 to the contract with Central Texas Mortuary for the transportation of human remains. E, consider authorizing quote 48,197 for the purchase of boardroom audiovisual presentation equipment for the Bell County Museum Storage Building from Delcom Group using purchasing cooperative tips 230105 AVPC for $99,858.59 using budgeted CIP funds. F, consider the appointment of Commissioner Bobby Whitson for a 3-year term to the Bell County Public Health District Board of Directors and Commissioner Bill Schumann as an alternate. That's everything for the consent agenda. Then we have item 4, County Engineers. Consider and approve a final plat of Stallion Estates being 10 acres, 2 lots, 1 block subdivision located in Bell County, Precinct 3. Item 5, consider the appointment of Mark P. Hubbard and Kim Bird to the Bell County Emergency Service District Number 1, ESD Number 1 for 2 years, beginning January 1st, 2024. 6, consider approving transfer of approximately $3,990 for County Court at Law Number 3, Mental Health Indigent Funds, Department 464, from contract service budget line item to personnel to fund offset at a requested payroll increase. This request has 0 increase or decrease in overall budget. 7, consider authorizing the purchase of a 2024 Chevy Malibu through the Purchasing Cooperative's TIP with Lake Country Chevrolet under contract number 210907 for the Guardian ad litem at a cost not to exceed $25,255 with an appropriate budget amendment. This vehicle purchase is to replace a wrecked vehicle. Then we have consider authorizing AMG Printing and Mailing LLC under Buy Board Contract Number 710-23 for a mass mailout of 2023 voter registration cards, including postage for an estimated cost of $82,106.51 for the Elections Department. Item 9, consider authorizing the county judge to execute Amendment Number 1 to the contract with Collaborative Solutions, Cognizant, using purchasing cooperative contract number 1157 for $112,080 for 1 year of post-production support of Workday Finance and HR solutions using allocated CIP funds. And then finally, consider authorizing the purchase of furniture for the Loop Jail from Perry's Office Supply Plus, utilizing multiple purchasing cooperatives by board contract number 667-22, Omni Partners contract number R191804 and R191803, 2019.001896 and 202000608, and an estimated amount of $103,917.46 using budgeted CIP funds. And that is everything for the agenda for our regular meetings. Now for our workshop agenda immediately following, we have receive and reports and updates from various county offices and departments, and then capital improvement projects, update on jail expansion, temporary jail services, museum annex, Killeen Annex, discuss FY 2023 CIP plans, and that is it. That is it. On meetings that we have, December 18th, child safety presentation to the Rogers City Hall in Rogers. December 19th, we have Central County Services Board of Trustees special session. And then we have December 19th as well at 5, child safety presentation, City of Killeen, City Hall. And that is everything that we have so far for our meetings. So where can we begin where I can catch you up on everything that's been going on here at your county government? I guess the biggest thing just is sticking in my head. And when I talk to people, I still in disbelief in what I'm actually communicating to people. So a couple of months ago already, I guess it's been, that I got in contact with the Environmental Defense Fund about grants and opportunities in the state of Texas, and they were looking to partner up with counties, cities, entities to help them get some of these grant dollars. And I was made aware of a grant that Texas was eligible for. They sent me the information. I started researching it and looking it over. And what it is the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, TCEQ. They're the administrators of this grant. So we all remember the Volkswagen lawsuit. They were cheating and lying about emissions and I guess their diesel vehicles, and saying that they are cleaner than what they actually are. So it was a big lawsuit, big settlement. And I believe the state of Texas got somewhere around almost $100 million. I don't know exactly how much, 80 something, somewhere in that range, but high, a lot of money. And this grant is administered, like I said, from TCEQ. went on their website. They had all these counties, and it was broken down in regions. So it was, say, like the Travis County, those area, Harris County, and then like other counties that could apply. But it was very specific on who could apply, at least geographical areas. And then there was a carve out, and it had Bell County all by itself. It said other, then it had Bell County all by itself. So the conditions of you had to live in that area, and then it had a dollar amount, and Bell County was all by itself. So that was good. We have our own money allocated for Bell County. But who can apply for this grant? So any business entity in Bell County could apply for this grant. Any nonprofit could apply for this grant. And then any government entity could apply for this grant. Now, if you were a business or a nonprofit, it was only 75% eligibility of whatever you were doing would be covered. And if it was a government entity, it would be 100% covered by this grant. So what did this grant do? So it does two things, but the part that I was interested in, there was like $100 and something thousand set aside for airports and airport stuff. The only really airports that we have is there's a little city municipal airport for the city of Temple, and I don't even think that's open to the general public. And then we have the Killeen Regional Airport that is open to the public, and they have public transportation flights in and out of Killeen. But so that was only a couple of $100,000 for that. The money I was after was for, you had to purchase and replace an a diesel vehicle, an older diesel vehicle, a heavy duty class vehicle, and they gave different types of qualifications of vehicles that you had to take out of service and had to destroy it. You couldn't sell it or anything like that. You actually had to destroy it, destroy the motor, cut the engine block in half. It's going to be that type of work. So you had to destroy older piece of equipment, take it out of service, replace it with an electric vehicle, and then the really cool thing that I was after was the infrastructure money that was allowed for it. So Bell County was authorized $700 and some change $700,000. And then with the airport part, another couple of $100,000, that knocked it over $1 million that Bell County specifically was authorized for. So when I found this out, I read all the information. I called TCEQ and talked to the person that was in charge of that fund down there. This program just started and became live in June. Now, initially, whenever I called it, I want to say it was August, September, somewhere in there, and no one had applied from Bell County. So I was like, man, this is awesome. This is great. We'll be able to take a vehicle that's old and get it replaced with a new vehicle, an electric vehicle, which is good. But the really cool thing was that we were going to be able to get infrastructure dollars, charging stations with this money to service that vehicle. So I did my homework. It just so happened that the city of Nolanville has a level 2 charging station, and I'll go into different levels here in a minute. But Nolanville had a level 2 charging station, so I reached out to that city manager, and I asked her, like, hey, where did you get your charging station from? Do you have a point of contact? She gave it to me. So for those of you that don't know, I have an electric vehicle. So there's three types of levels of charging. And then let's get through this first. So there's three different levels of charging. So you have a regular wall outlet, that's a 110 outlet. You can plug your car into that and it will charge from that wall outlet, but that is the slowest charge that is available. A wall outlet plugging into a car would probably take it 2 or 3 days to fully charge your EV, your electric vehicle. Not ideal, not sustainable. It doesn't work. Level 2 charging is what I currently have at my house is a level 2 charger, and what City Nolanville has is a level 2 charger, and that's obviously faster. So think of it as a dryer outlet. It's a 220, same thing that you would plug your dryer into, or maybe even if some of y'all are campers, when you go to camping locations and you want to plug your RV or camper, that's typically a 220 plug-in as well. So level 2, 220, plug it in, and that could have you fully charged overnight. That's what most people do. They plug it in overnight and charge their vehicle, and take about 4 or 5 hours to get you fully charged. So definitely much faster than a couple of days, but still for public use, it's a little slow. They are out there. They are out there for the public. They do get used, but definitely slower. The best one, obviously, is level 3 charging stations. And in Bell County, there are zero level 3 charging stations anywhere. And there's a caveat to that, and I'll explain that in a minute. So there's no level 3 charging stations. If I want to take my car and I need a fast charge, where would I go? Well, there's only 2 places that I'm aware of. One is the Round Rock outlets over there. I've used those before. I like them a lot. It's a Electrify America charging station, and it's fast, works. I could be fully charged over there in 30 to 40 minutes, and usually costs around $20. So pretty quick. The next one is the Walmart in Belmead off of I-35. It's another Electrify America charging location. Very quick. Same thing. 30 to 40 minutes, you'll be fully charged. You'll be good to go. So I back to the caveat that I mentioned earlier. So we do have a level 3 charging station in Bell County at Buc-ee's in Temple, but that is for Tesla only. So in charging stations, in the charging world, in the EV world, there are Tesla chargers, and then there's everyone else. Like my car, I cannot take it to a Tesla charging station and charge. It won't work. It won't charge. So that's why I said there's a caveat. So we do have a level 3 charging station in Bell County at Buc-ee's in Temple, but it is for Tesla only. It does nothing for me, and it does nothing for anyone else that's not a Tesla owner. So we had an opportunity. The Bell County Commissioner's Court had an opportunity to bring in a level 3 charging station, not only one, but 2 level 3 charging stations to Bell County. And the best part of all of this is that it was 100% free. 100% free. The grant would have covered all this. I did my homework. I reached out to the company called ChargePoint, and they're someone that's in the industry. You see a lot of ChargePoint charging stations out there. And so I reached out to them, spoke with them. I spoke to Electrify America as well, trying to get this in Bell County. And ChargePoint was the one that I think had, at least for what I was looking for, the best deal. A level 3 charging station would sell, and install probably going to be around $100,000+ total per station. And then you have your software, your usage, your I guess warranty. So all that added up. So for the $727,000 that I wanted to apply for, that would have covered a new vehicle, heavy duty electric truck. We were going to make that truck a chipper truck. It would, just a big, almost like a dump truck with a box to chip limbs that they cut down on the side of the road. So we would get that brand new electric vehicle and 2 level 3 charging stations in Bell County. But there's more. It gets better. The county would have charged people to use these charging stations. Now, just cursory talks to these electric companies, electric charging companies, that once you get going, a charger, level 3 charger, could make you easily over $100,000 a year. So, I mean, we're going to be making money. We get them for free, and then we get to charge for public use, and the county's going to be making money. All of this was a win-win, and we get to replace an old vehicle, an old dump truck that was needed to be replaced. So to me, this was a no-brainer. So I thought, I brought it up. I had compelling evidence that, well, first of all, it's free and 100% grant funded, and then we can make money off of it for the county. What better thing than you could do than that? But they started rumbling whenever I initially brought it up in a workshop. They were not interested in it, really. They didn't have any questions. They didn't say anything. So then I brought it up for a vote. And like I said, this is weeks, months it's taken to do all this. I brought it up for a vote, and at that time they voted to table it because they said they still had questions. And so then I spoke with TCEQ, and TCEQ said that no one, like I said, this might have been a month ago, no one still had applied for it, and that after 90 days, money could be reallocated. And we were getting close actually, I think at the time, it was 92 days that I had brought this back, had passed. 92 days that now money could be reallocated throughout the state, and Bell County is not, those funds may not be available for Bell County. So I brought this back to the Commissioner's Court to vote on it, and they voted no. They did not want to apply. They did not want $727,000 of free money that the county could have benefited from. The public would have benefited from this because it would have brought something, that a need that we have that's not here in the county. They said the city should do should, it would fit better in a city. And I agree. And it may very well fit very well in a city. It, but, it's not our job. It's not the county's job to, you know, I guess to do city projects. This, and remember what I said, who can apply for this money? Any business, any nonprofit, any government can apply for this. So it was open to anyone that lived in Bell County. And to me, it would just be a shame that someone else would get it, some business or even government would get it and wouldn't make it available to the public. And to me, that would have been a big a tragedy. But so that's what they voted on. They weren't interested in it, and that just made me really think that what are these guys doing? What are these guys doing? They have no thoughts of how we're going to progress the county. No ideas. They may not fully understand electric vehicles. I get it. The tax assessor collector estimated that we have probably 400 plus vehicles. I think it's going to be a little bit like way more than that, because that's just county registered vehicles. Remember, we got the military base over here, Fort Cavazos. People from all over the country come here, and a lot of them, they'll keep their vehicle registered from in the state that they live in. So I see electric vehicles running around all the time with different plates from other states. So I would expect that true number of EVs in Bell County is probably much higher, much higher than those. But yeah, like I said, that just made me think like, yeah, we got to get some of these guys out of here, get some of this old thinking out of here. One of the things in our mission statement for the county is, we're going to be inventive, and progress the county. Well, this just showed you that they're not interested in doing either one of those. When you bring free money, and anyways, that was just to apply for a grant. I know I went into a rant on that, but that is something that was very passionate. I was passionate about, and I know it would have benefited the county. And we just hired a grant administrator. She started on the 11th, and how is this going to work out for our grant administrator? Where there are great opportunities out there that we could do in the county and help people out, and because of this conservative thought process, there's just no appetite for it, and that's going to be holding the county back. But now I think this is where we can switch gears and kind of talk about how can we get past this. How can we get over this? Well, obviously, it's going to be political. We're going to have to get more people in office that think and want to do some work and move the county forward. And now we're going to switch gears and talk about our candidates that we're going to have here locally. So on December 11th, that was the filing deadline to file for an application to be on the primary election. It was for a month, so from November 11th to December 11th, candidates and elected officials, if they wanted to rerun, they would have to file with their county chair and go from there to be placed on the ballot. And I'm happy to report that there are a lot of Democrats that are going to be running locally here. So we're going to have a lot of names on the ballot. And, I'd like to thank everyone that was involved talking to people that were interested in running for office and getting them over the finish line, the filing deadline, getting everything in place, explaining what it takes, at least the mechanics, filing a treasury appointment, where to file all this information at. And so, yeah, let's go through the lists and meet your candidates that are going to be on the 2024 ballot. And I'll even throw in some of the Republicans, just so you know who's going to be on the other side. There are no Democrats in the primary that are contested. So every Democrat that I'm going to read to you will be on the ballot in November of 2024. So let's go through this. As Linda Nash, who is the current Bell County Democratic chair, is not filing for re-election. So we had Jonathan Hildner, who filed and will be our apparent Bell County Democratic chair. If you remember, Jonathan ran for the State Representative 54 last election cycle against Brad Buckley, and I'm glad that he is taking this leadership role in the county, and I think he'll do great. We definitely need someone that is going to be eager to do the work and interested in reaching out and building coalitions. So, yeah, I'm very excited about that. So, first thing is the Bell County District Attorney's Office. Now, I did not know this, but I kept on looking at because where I'm getting all these names from is the Secretary of State website. You go there, there's candidate listings, candidate filings, and then you got to go through the primary, Republican or Democrat, to pull up all these names. But what I didn't realize was the district attorney is a state office, and because I kept on looking under the county elections and I never saw it, and I was like, man, they should be on there already. But it's actually the district attorney for the 27th Judicial District. So our Democratic candidate is going to be Kurt Glass. He ran for County Court of Law last election cycle. So I'm glad that he stepped up to the plate, and I think he would make a great district attorney. On the Republican side, the long sitting Henry Garza filed for retirement. He'll be stepping down. So there are three Republicans: Jeff Parker, Stephanie Newell, and James Stapler, that are going to be running for that seat on the Republican side. So maybe they'll go to a runoff. I don't know. So on our Bell County attorney, we have our Democrat, Michelle Cummings, who will be running against Jim Nichols, longtime county attorney. So obviously, I'm going to be supporting Michelle. We'll get to know her later on and hopefully have her on the show. Next, we have our Bell County tax assessor collector. So on that one, we have Democrat Brandy L.L. Bird, who stepped up to run, and our incumbent, the tax assessor collector, Shay Ludicky, will be there on the ballot. He's unopposed in the Republican primaries, so these will both go to the November election. Next, we have Bell County Commissioner, Precinct 1, Marianne Miller. She is going to be the Democratic representative. She used to be the Bell County chair whenever I first got going into politics in 2012, 13, around that time period. She'll be going against Commissioner Precinct 1, Russell Snyder. No one ran against him, opposing him in his primary, so this will be what'll be on the ballot in November. Then we have Bell County Commissioner Precinct 3. In Precinct 3, we have Terrace Goodwin, who will be the Democratic challenger. She is a nurse, and we'll have more about her in a future show. Definitely try and get her onto the show as well. So I'm excited that she is there. Now, Precinct 3, that's the Temple, Rogers, Troy area. That's an open seat. The incumbent, Bill Schuman, announced his retirement, and there are, let's see, seven Republicans that file for that seat. So I know for sure that's going to be going to a runoff. So we have for on the Republican side, Ison Ismaili. I hope I'm not messing that name up. He is a deputy constable in Precinct 4. Lamar Lewis, apparently, from what I know about this guy, that he ran or he worked for Hugh Shine for many years. Greg Reynolds. I met with him. He's a guy that lives out of Troy, works for some manufacturing company, I believe. Paul Romer. He is the communication director for the city of Belton. Dennis Smith. I believe he owns a print company in Temple. And then Wayne Tyrock, who I don't know much about at all. I've definitely heard the name of Tyrock, so I'm assuming he's part kin there. Next thing we got is our Bell County Justice of the Peace, Precinct 3, Place 1. This is also an open seat. The incumbent there is retiring. And so we have Matt West, who will be running as the Democratic nominee. And on the Republican side, 3 people have filed. Roseanne Fisher, Velva Johnson, and Tim Taylor. I do not know Miss Fisher, but Miss Johnson, Velva, I've known her for, since I was a teenager. I used to box whenever I was a young kid, and her daughters actually boxed with us, so I remember her from that long time ago. And then Tim Taylor, he's running for Justice of the Peace. I've known Tim for a long time. We went to start out in law enforcement around the same time, so I remember him from way back then. Good guy. I think that the voters there are going to have some good choices. So that's Precinct 3. Precinct 4, Justice of the Peace, Place 1. We have the incumbent Judge Gregory Johnson filed for re-election, and his Republican opponent, Gregory Johnson's on the Democratic ticket. The Republican, so both of these will be in November because the only 2 people filed. On the Republican ticket, Jonathan Okray, former city council member, and this guy could be a show unto himself. I think Judge Johnson is going to coast into a re-election victory. Then we got Bell County Constable Precinct 1, Pat Duffield. No Democratic challenger there, no Republican challenger. So she'll go on to victory. Bell County Constable Precinct 2, the incumbent had filed to retire. He's retiring. Now it's his retirement. So we got 2 constables stepping up to fill that seat, both from the Republican ticket. Chris Bazar, and then Jesse Mondragon, both deputy constables. And I guess we'll see who wins in that one. And on Bell County Constable Precinct 3, We have Devin Rosenthal, the Republican incumbent constable. No one has filed to run against him on the Republican or Democratic side, so it looks like he'll coast into re-election. Then we have Bell County Constable Precinct 4, Martha Dominguez, the Democrat, filed on the Democratic ticket, and no challenger on either the Democratic or Republican side. So that's everything for the county. Now on the state house. And the reason why I'm talking about these is because both of our state representatives encompass all of Bell County. So used to District 54 went both into Lampasas County as well. But after redistricting, now it's just all Bell County. So we have the incumbent, Brad Buckley, who is running. And then we have Don Richardson, the retired educator, the former president of the Killeen Democrats, stepped up to run against Brad Buckley, who is trying to sell out our schools, sell out Killeen ISD. And so definitely you could tell he's wanting to go up higher in the food chain here in Texas politics, and he's trying to do everything he can to make the governor happy, and selling out our school kids, our public school kids. It is part of his stepping stones to get up there. So Don Richards is going to hold him accountable. We're going to do everything that we can to get Don elected, and we'll see. If I got enough time, I'll come back to something I want to read about Brad Buckley that was in the Texas Tribune. But then the other state representative, HD 55, that we have in Bell County, the donut hole. If you look at Bell County, look at the map, we have a ring around. That's 54. That's Brad Buckley's district, and then the hole in the middle is Hugh Shine's district. So Hugh Shine is the incumbent, and our Democratic challenger, an educator, Jennifer Lee, stepped up to run against Hugh, and she's going to hold him accountable. But Hugh has some troubles on the Republican side. We had 4 special sessions this legislative session, and the governor was trying to push these school vouchers through, and it failed miserably. It failed. Obviously, Brad Buckley voted for it because he's the chair. He's trying to, like I said, use our kids as a stepping stone. And Hugh Shine voted against the voucher bill. So that has led to 3 other people to file on the Republican ticket against Hugh Shine. A guy named Jorge Estrada. I don't know much about him other than what I read in the paper. I think he's a gun manufacturer or something like that, makes guns at home. And then Davis Ford. I didn't know him, but I think I just ran into him this week and met him. He's the president of the Bell County Tea Party. So that sounds like fun. And then we have Hillary Hicklin, who I don't know anything about, but the governor of Texas came to Temple and endorsed her for to be the state representative, Republican from 55. Now, some of y'all may or may not know that we had someone that was crazy before that was in 55. Molly White, way out there, crazy Tea Party person. She was so far out there, our local people said, hey, enough is enough. And they brought Hugh Shine back. That's why Hugh Shine got there. They brought him back to beat Molly White because Molly was just way out there for us. And so will Hillary Hicklin having the support of the governor, and what does that support look like? I don't know. But can they overcome Hugh? Hugh has a lot of money. He's very well known in Bell County. He filed for re-election. He could have retired, but he filed for re-election, and he's gonna take it to them, I guess. I don't know, but it's going to be interesting to watch. I would imagine that would go to a runoff. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see if Hugh Shine can pull it off. But he doesn't get it. He doesn't get an easy pass, and neither does Brad Buckley, because they have two educators that are going to hold them accountable. Yeah, Hugh Shine might have not voted for vouchers, but he didn't do anything to increase pay for teachers and for public education. They'll say, yeah, more money went to public education, and that may be true, but really no new spending has occurred per student and no increases for inflation. So, we got to hold these guys accountable. And then here this week, that's last week or two, that's been in the news. This lady that she was trying to seek an abortion, not because she wanted an abortion, but her pregnancy was not viable, and she needed to. Her life is in danger as well, and she needed a medical abortion here in the state of Texas, and the state of Texas said no. So she took him to court, and a judge ruled in her favor. Travis County judge ruled in her favor, said that she could get an abortion. The attorney general threatened lawsuit to anyone that would perform that abortion. And then the Texas Supreme Court said no. No judge should be involved in these medical decisions, ironically. And so she had to flee the state to protect her life and to protect her future fertility and get this abortion. So I'm mad for women that this is happening in Texas. This is going to be an election issue. I hope women are mad about this nonsense going on here in the state that's being allowed, sanctioned. We got to get these guys out of here. So we're going to work very hard to do everything we can, giving people a choice here locally to let them know that, there are people out here fighting for your rights, and we got your back. So let's get to work. Let's talk. I'll see you out on the campaign trail. I'm going to be working to register voters, to get the word out, working with all the candidates so we can get them over the finish line. Will you work with us? I think you will. So we will see you next week.